Join us on Patreon and become part of our journey to uncover history's untold stories. Your support helps us create in-depth content, bring hidden narratives to life, and keep history alive for everyone.
Hidden behind the thick walls of Vatican City, protected by Swiss guards, medieval gates, and centuries of silence, lies one of the most secretive collections of documents in human history. Few places on earth evoke as much fascination, mystery, and speculation as the Vatican Apostolic Archive, known popularly as the Vatican Vault. Enigmatic and impenetrable to the average person, these archives are not just religious repositories. They are the heartbeat of a sovereign state with a history longer than most modern nations, and they are guardians of knowledge that could reshape our understanding of religion, politics, science, and humanity itself. The allure of the Vatican Vault is not merely its secrecy, but its immense scope. Shelving that stretches over 50 miles, more than 35,000 volumes in its catalog, and materials dating back over 12 centuries reside under its watchful eye. From papal bulls and royal correspondences to inquisitorial trial records and scientific treatises, these documents not only tell the story of the Roman Catholic Church, but also illuminate the inner workings of empires, the ambitions of kings, the fears of philosophers, and the cries of heretics. The Vatican Archive has existed in some form since the early centuries of Christianity, but it was formally organized by Pope Paul V in 1612. Prior to that, the papal documents had been dispersed or poorly cataloged. The centralization of these records marked the beginning of a meticulously guarded tradition. Only a select group of scholars could access them, and even then, only with a painstaking process of request and approval. For centuries, the archive was virtually closed to outsiders, feeding rumors of its unimaginable contents. Contrary to popular fantasy, the Vatican Vault is not a single hidden room beneath the earth, but a sprawling series of vaults and chambers, many of which are underground, tucked away in the depths of Vatican City. It is protected not just by physical security, but also by strict bureaucratic controls. Only scholars with specific credentials and research proposals are granted limited access to pre-approved documents. No one is permitted to browse freely. This level of control, while understood by archivists as necessary for preservation, also acts as a veil, deepening the aura of secrecy and allowing myth and reality to intermingle. Among the most tantalizing claims about the Vatican Vault are the documents related to the trial of the Knights Templar. The Knights, a powerful and wealthy military order during the Crusades, were accused of heresy and disbanded in the early 14th century. In 2001, the Vatican confirmed the existence of a long-lost parchment, the Chinon Parchment, that absolved the Templars of heresy, signed by Pope Clement V himself. It had been quietly misfiled in the archives for centuries, only to resurface after nearly 700 years. This revelation sparked fresh curiosity. If something this explosive had been lost, what else could still be hidden in plain sight? There are also whispered tales of ancient texts too controversial or heretical to see the light of day. Among them are rumored to be early Gospels that never made it into the canon of the Bible. The Gospel of Mary Magdalene, the Gospel of Thomas, and the Gospel of Judas, many of which have surfaced in part for non-Vatican sources, have led scholars to wonder whether the Vatican holds complete versions of these documents or even unknown Gospels that could challenge modern theological frameworks. Though some of these Gospels have been discovered in places like Egypt and the Sinai Peninsula, there is no definitive proof of what versions, if any, are stored in the Vatican archives. However, the Church has traditionally held thousands of ancient manuscripts, some written in Greek, Latin, Syriac, Coptic, and Aramaic, many of which are still being cataloged and translated. Historical correspondence between popes and monarchs is another key pillar of the archives collection. Letters from Henry VIII to Pope Clement VII concerning his annulment from Catherine of Aragon reside in the vault, marking the very spark that ignited the English Reformation. Papal documentation regarding the excommunication of Martin Luther is stored there too, offering a first-hand look at the Church's internal views on Protestantism and schism. These documents are not merely religious. They are pivotal to understanding the shaping of modern Europe, the politics of absolutism, and the birth of nation-states. The archives also contain the Inquisition records, including those related to the trial of Galileo Galilei, the father of modern science, who was convicted of heresy in 1633 for his defense of heliocentrism. The Vatican's handling of Galileo has long been emblematic of a tension between science and faith. Only in the late 20th century did the Vatican formally acknowledge its error in condemning Galileo. The documents surrounding his trial, preserved in exquisite detail, provide a sobering glimpse into how dogma and discovery collided in the Renaissance and beyond. Less documented, but equally fascinating, are theories that the Vatican Vault contains secret knowledge on extraterrestrial life. While such claims remain speculative, the Church's interest in astronomy is well documented. The Vatican Observatory, one of the oldest astronomical research institutions in the world, has been in operation since 1582. Some theorists suggest that ancient manuscripts or star charts within the Vatican archives may contain references to phenomena not yet explained, perhaps from the perspective of early civilizations or even otherworldly accounts recorded through the lens of medieval theology. Another topic that fascinates researchers is the Vatican's role during World War II, particularly its dealings with Nazi Germany. The recent opening of the wartime archives of Pope Pius XII has shed new light on this controversial period. Critics have long accused the Pope of silence or complicity during the Holocaust, while defenders argue he worked behind the scenes to aid Jews and oppose Hitler. These documents, previously sealed for decades, are beginning to offer a more nuanced view, though debates remain fierce among historians. And then there are the documents that might never be seen by the public, files that concern secret societies, lost relics like the Ark of the Covenant or the Holy Grail, or prophecies of apocalyptic significance such as the Third Secret of Fatima. While the Vatican has published what it claims is the entirety of the Fatima revelation, skeptics believe that deeper, more disturbing visions were withheld due to their potential to destabilize the faithful. Whether these are mere legends or intentional suppressions, the Vatican's unwillingness to fully disclose its holdings continues to fuel intrigue. Despite its guarded reputation, the Vatican has taken steps in recent decades to modernize and digitize parts of the archive. Partnerships with research institutions and efforts to preserve documents digitally have made some information more accessible. Yet, these efforts pale in comparison to the monumental scale of the archive and the veiled discretion with which it is curated. Access is expanding, but at a glacial pace, and many scholars still face considerable hurdles to entry. In the end, the mystique of the Vatican Vault is not just in what it hides, but what it chooses to reveal and when. It is a place where the sacred and the political, the factual and the mythical, the ancient and the eternal all coexist. For every truth uncovered, like the Chinon parchment or the Galileo transcripts, dozens more may lie just beyond our reach, waiting for time, trust, or turmoil to pry them loose. As long as humanity hungers for truth, and as long as the Vatican stands atop centuries of spiritual and political power, the vault will remain an enigma, silent, enduring, and infinitely tantalizing.